My name is George Rössling. I'm in charge of PDA here in Europe. We have, I think, a very interesting program with a few very hot topics.
We really, as the program planning committee and also as the co-chair of the conference, we invest a lot of time and energy to identify what are the topic of today and also where the industry should be going tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. We are the group that identify issues, put together task teams, try to find the solution for those issues and publish technical reports.
I still see day to day is that supply chain is getting more and more complex. A lot of activities are outsourced. There's a movement that big pharmaceutical companies say, okay, we are good in manufacturing, but the distribution is for logistics centers. And that will mean that you need to transfer knowledge from the manufacturing side to logistics centers. And these people need to be trained. They need to know how to handle with cold chain products. They need to know where to place the temperature sensors. They need to get the experience to do the work. And as people are doing the work, they are the most critical part in the cold chain.
To complement what Eric is to look at it as a secure supply chain system. And the supply chain then will cover what are the product attributes that start by knowing the regulations. So I recommend that we think globally but act locally. So I will suggest the foundation are the regulations. Once you know the regulation, then you think of the supply chain integrity. Like Eric said, there are multiple facets of it. So we start with the manufacturer. Manufacturer then needs to know how to handle, store, and to distribute the medicine or the vaccine until the end user, which is the patient or the doctor office, the hospital, or the retirement home. But at the end of all of that, there is a patient that we need to make sure he or she is receiving the medicine or the vaccine in the best of condition, in the best of efficacy, so that they can get the treatment that's needed.
In terms of burning questions for this year's conference, one of the key issues, I think, is obviously the implementation of the EU GDP and the expectations of the EU GDP with regards to regulatory compliance. One of the key areas of the EU GDP implementation that I think is going to be very important is to really understand how the pharmaceutical supply chain is going to apply continuous process improvement and document continuous process improvement across the supply chain.
Hot topics for us at the moment is cost reduction, like I said, so looking for transition to sea freight for some of our major products.
Temperature monitoring is the topic that we're interested in, making temperature visible along the supply chain and making the data available to all our customers. That's and to learn about their needs, what they are looking for actually. That's what we would like to learn here.
Well, I think the Parenteral Drug Association does such a fantastic job about really bringing in the science-based approach associated with proper storage, proper handling, and proper distribution of pharmaceutical products. If you look at the various technical reports that the PDA has developed, those technical reports are critical to industry, not only for those members of the pharmaceutical supply chain, but also for the regulators that then go out and audit against those standards.
The PDA Europe conference is one of the, I think, maybe a little smaller, but better events here compared to others, where we find the decision makers, where we find those people we want to talk to present our products, our solutions which we have for the pharmaceutical industry.
It's an event that people do share best practices and they're willing to discuss. And you know, as the industry changes, regulations, temperature, the GDPs are new. And this has been a massive challenge to the industry.
I think for us, there's some bigger trade shows for sure, but this one is it's nice because of the size. To be honest, it allows us some good access to some quality people.
I think the PDA conference, the cold chain conference, is different from other conferences, and the reason is that we think about the science. We would like to know and understand what's happening. We would like to know how Packout is working and bring also the science and knowledge to the people, to the conference itself. We're also connecting organizations, like we are working, I said, WHO, GURP, we have RX360, we have TAPA. So we like to connect not only the people, but also the organizations.
When it comes to technical challenge, when it comes to technical solutions, when to come to bringing regulators where we can rub elbow with them, we can ask them questions, we can become their friend, PDA becomes the number one.